Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We just came out of the video by KRS-One, Step Into a World. So, you know, we're going to continue this conversation. When I told people that I was going to sit down with you today, a lot of people were excited, first of all, you know what I'm saying, to hear about you and, you know, hear that you're on the scene and around. A lot of people wanted me to talk to you about your relationship with Bad Boy Records. So we know that, you know, you were affiliated with the label during, you know, some of the formative years of that company. So I was wondering what you could share with us about your experiences, you know, working with that label during that time.
Well, I was there, you know, at ground zero. When I say ground zero, I was working with Puffy before Bad Boy, you know.
Right.
To be honest, he understood the elements that he was going to need in the type of the model for because he set a model when he, you know, for these labels, because a lot of labels came behind him like that. And what I mean by that model is that, you know, you have a label that's self-contained. They have in-house producers, they have the talent, and he was looking for someone or others, you know. I just happened to, you know, be skilled as a producer and as an MC. So, you know, he felt, okay, I have all the elements in place now. Now I have that real special producer, and he's special as an MC. Now I can start Bad Boy. Now I can launch Bad Boy Records. He told me this. But, you know, far as the early years, it was just I really can't explain it. The most thing that I think about the most back though is just me meeting Biggie in the not only the recordings. We did a lot of recordings together. We spent a lot of time together, you know, before most of the world knew who Biggie Smalls was.
Right.
You know, we was just grinding out ideas back and forth, you know. I listened to a lot of his songs he put out, and even in his lyrics, you know, I'll hear one line that I know that he got from me, you know. Oh yeah, I'll hear a line in a particular song, and I'll just think like I remember I was with him, and, you know, when he got that line from me, not like I was giving him lines, but something I said, oh,
right,
you know,
right,
yeah. And we, you know, we would just go back and forth, and it was interesting because, you know, Big changed, you know, he changed my life, you know what I'm saying? In terms of the energy that I was able to, you know, he helped me to find myself as an MC. And he didn't know that because it was very subtle. We never sounded alike. We didn't talk about the same things. So when I tried to explain to him that, you know, how much I got from him, how much he changed, and helped me move to the next level. Like, he helped me just make a quantum leap to the next level. When I tried to explain that to him, he couldn't really see it because I guess he was just looking for surface comparisons. I don't think he understood the inspiration, and then just the whole scientific way that I broke down, you know, his lyrical, his writing. It was his writing that changed my life. He opened up a door, he gave me a new way to write. You know, I was stuck before. And I'm talking about overnight, you know. It was like I met him, I recorded one song with him, and then when I woke up in the morning, I was the illest MC.
Period. What was the song?
It was a song called Biggie Got the Hype Shit. It's on YouTube. You can hear it on YouTube.
Yeah, you can find it on YouTube.
Yeah, somehow, you know, YouTube, they bootleg everything. I mean, you know, people, I don't know how. We recorded that song in 1991.
Really?
Yeah. But it's on the internet. You can catch it. It's called Biggie Got the Hype Shit.
Wow. Look for that, man.
Yes, you know, I hadn't heard it in so many years, and then I found it on the internet. And it sounds like it was recorded in 91 too. You know? But yeah, I woke up for that year, 91, 92, 93, man. I was the illest, man. Everybody, all the motherfuckers knew. Busta, Redman, all of them knew that. Jesse West, they all knew. Third Eye, they all knew. And I never had a response, especially from my peers like that type of respect for my lyrical ability, until the day after I met Biggie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
After I met Biggie, you know, I had real big, respectable MCs speechless when they met me. And I used to be like, yo, damn, it was Biggie. It was Biggie that did that. You know what I'm saying? Right.
That's what's up, though. Yeah, that's real deal. And now, as you were telling the story, I was thinking, let me ask you this, and this I hadn't planned on asking you this, but while you were telling the story, do you remember where you were when you got the news that he had been killed?
Parkchester. I was asleep. My man walked in and said, "Wes, wake up. They killed Biggie Smalls last night."
Yeah.
I woke up like, huh? What? Yeah. That was an experience.
Crazy.
I mean, I'm just even thinking about that day now, man. I get upset about it, you know. Because, I know Biggie was meeting a lot of people, making a lot of new connections and whatnot.
Right.
He was always open. He just loved music, so it didn't matter who you were. He was gonna listen to your music if it was hot and it inspired him.
Yeah.
He was gonna use it. But I know at the end of the day, I probably was one of his top 3 producers that he was always going. The door was always going to be open. He was always like, he had that type of respect. He was always. Every time I saw him, he was like, "Yo, you got music? Come and see me." Every time, you know. I could just bump into him somewhere. I'm in Manhattan, and oh shit, Biggie. Yo, Big, Wes, pull over. Music, you know.
Period.
All the time.
Off top.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
He was like an ally in that aspect. So it kind of really definitely, because the main thing is, even to this day, I'm like, what was that dude gonna become right now? That's what we miss. You know what I'm saying?
And that conversation comes up
lyrically,
a lot.
like Pac. We knew Pac wasn't gonna evolve lyrically. Pac was gonna be Pac. We knew his evolution was gonna be right up here.
Right.
You know, but Biggie, you just knew his lyrical evolution was gonna be insane.
Right.
You know, like to this day right now, you know, Biggie would have been in his 40s and we still would have been hearing him going, "Jesus Christ, man, this dope." You know what I'm saying? You know, whereas, you know, like I said, whereas Pac probably would have started a new religion by now.
Well, now, you always say that if Pac would have made it to 40 years old, much less 50, Pac would have opened up a school of self-defense in urban centers around the country. Yeah. I don't know if he would have allied himself with the new Black Panther Party, but there was talk of that before he started his recording career. I feel like Pac would have started a school for self-defense and proficiency with weapons. He's a shooter. He loved to shoot, but not to just be shooting. But I think that there would have been an education behind that along with self-defense. I also think that Pac would have probably pumped music into the arts, acting, music, poetry, writing. It would have been a different. I don't compare Pac to other MCs because the person he is beyond music. Music was how we discovered him. But if he would have made it, his book would have been much more than music. Music was the entry point.
Right.
It was what got him the money. Right. It's what got him the credibility and the love. But he was always on a different wavelength. So you can only imagine what a person like that on that wavelength does with resource, meaning people and money. It's a different reality if Pac makes it.
Right.
And people like him. But yeah, speaking of hip hop and the ones that came through, you know, it's a different reality in a certain sense if Pac makes it. You know, and musically, and that doesn't take anything away from a Big. That's why personally, you rarely hear me compare them.
Can never compare them.
Because it's really not a comparison. If you really think about it, it's really not a comparison.
If you want to compare, you compare Jay-Z to Biggie.
Right.
Exactly.
That's apples to apples.
Same vein.
Right.
Same vein.
But
that's Apple, but not
He was
Pop.
the first one to actually be talking about clothes, and nobody knew about that till he was.
That was all Puffy.
I always say that too.
Exactly.
Now since you were there, this is a statement I always make, and so you know they jump on me for this one, right? So I always say, yo, yeah, I was around, you know, when all these records were coming out, and you know, the whole phenomenon of Bad Boy. That was me getting into the industry at the time. But regardless of that, I always look, being that I was privy as a younger person to be in the corner when some of this stuff was going on in Daddy's house. I always, you know, now as an adult, I always think, when I listen to those records and I watch those videos and I talk about Big, this was a partnership. Because Big without Sean, without Puff, is almost Big Pun. But Big
all of that
with
success,
Sean is
that success. Like everything that I did with Puffy that was successful, it wouldn't have been successful without him.
Right.
You know, in one way or another. Even creatively, you know what I mean? He had ideas. He had creative ideas. He just didn't have the skills to execute them musically. So he surrounded himself with people who did have the skills, and then he guided them. It's like, but also having the power to bring your ideas to life. Like, you know, if we were sitting and building on an idea, and I said, yo, what we should do is we should do this. He had the power to go, whoa, Crystal, get such and such on the phone, right, and make it happen. Right. You know what I mean? Whereas, you know, anybody else would go, yeah, that's a dope idea. Damn, you got to connect. You know, how can we get at it? And then it might not ever happen. Right. He had that lane where you could just say, yo, you know, and that's why he became famous for, you know, putting this rapper on the remix with that rapper, you know, because when he would get ideas from a person like myself, yo, you know what would be dope if you know, like when we did the Reminisce remix, you know, that whole remix was just me just hitting him with ideas. Yo, what we
explain that, because I know what the Reminisce remix is, but some people watching may not. So talk about the artist and the situation a little bit with that.
Well, actually what happened is I was in like a real egotistical competition with Tony Dofat. because we worked in the same studio. Right. And he had more seniority in the studio. So in other words, if I was working and then Tone popped up, yeah, I had to pack up. It was his turn to work. You know? Right. And I never heard nothing whack from him. Right. Everything I heard from him was hot. Right. But he was not a hip hop dude, even though when he did do hip hop tracks, they was hot too. Right. But he was R&B, like he was phenomenal to me back then. Right. So I was trying to protect my hip hop lane from him. You know, like, okay, I can't fuck with him hip hop wise, I mean R&B, but he can't fuck with me hip hop. Right. And so we both started dealing with Puff at the same time. So when Mary wanted the remix, I was actually sitting with Puffy when, you know, he was talking on the phone with maybe Hermatic. However, when he came, okay, y'all want to remix Reminisce? I was sitting there, so I put my bid in right away. Puff, I want to remix Reminisce. That's right. You know what I'm saying? He was like, okay, you know, you should submit, Sean. We see what you got. Yeah. And I was like, okay. So I submitted two. I did two remixes. I actually did the first remix with Melgram. Get out of here. It was crazy. It was crazy. It was crazier than what we actually did. I swear to God. I just knew it. I remember just sitting back listening to it when I was done. I was like, yo, I'm about to remix Mary J. By myself, just in the studio, like, I got this. Yeah. I gave it to Diddy. After a week, he was like, yo, I gave it to her. You know, she still ain't get back to me about it yet. You know, then finally he come and was like, yo, she, you know, no, he never said nothing to me, you know. So I'm still waiting, thinking, you know, finally she'll call him. Right. So one day I'm in the studio with Tone, and he goes, guess what, man? I'm remixing Reminisce. I said, word? And he was like, yeah. He said, and it's crazy, man, because I don't even have an idea. I said, what do you mean you don't have an idea? He was like, I don't even know what I'm going to do. I said, word? Yo, I'm going to the store. I'll be right back. Crazy. I went outside and called Puff. I said, yo, Puffy, man, you got so much on this dude deck that he get to do the remix and he ain't even got an idea. Right. And I gave you the fire. Right. And he was like, yo, you know, he did Wish the 411. She requested him. Right. I couldn't say nothing about it. I was like, what's the 411? I can see her
being like, let's go for
I
it.
want this dude to do it. So I had to give it up. I said, all right. I get about a month later, I get a call out the blue. It's Puffy. Yo, West, I need your help, man. Yo, you know, we started on this remix for the Reminisce, and then Tone just broke out, man, and it just left me, man, and I got a deadline. I got to turn it in tomorrow, man. Yo, could you come down and finish it for me? I said, see, man, yo, listen, man, I want 6 G's. Yo, nigga, you got the 6 G's, just come down and shit, right? I said, okay. You know, 6 G's may not sound like a lot.
Yeah, that just, you probably straight.
Today, but back then, you know, the remixes, you know, that was good. A lot of money.
That was good.
In front, you know, that was a lot of money.
Yeah. Sound crazy today, right?
It does sound crazy. 6 G's is $600 today. I went down there and they had sucker MCs, Luke. Just Luke, no keys or nothing. So
the original Sucker MCs or the Orange Crush?
The Sucker MCs, boom,
yeah,
but
okay,
you know,
the
Reminisce is slow, so it was boom,
yeah.
So I said, all right, I listened to it. I said, all right, man, give me the. I need a Triton. I'm gonna need this keyboard. Man. I'm gonna just play some keys on top of it. And they left me, Diddy, and then you know, they all went out. Yeah. They left me in the studio, man. I came back out 2 hours later. I sat down. And Puffy, he was like, "How it sound?" I said, "That shit is whack." And he was like, "What?" I said, "That whole Sucker MC shit is garbage." He was like, "What?" I said, "Yo, I don't." I said, "Yo, man, I can't do nothing."
Yeah.
He was like, "Yo, what you saying, man? I gotta turn this in tomorrow." I said, "Yo, that shit is whack. You lucky you ain't gonna be able to turn it in, man. I told you to let me do it." He said, "Yo, I didn't like that idea I got." I said, "Yo, wait a minute. I thought you said Mary didn't like it." He said, "Nah, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I wasn't feeling that shit." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I said, "Yo, man, you should have told me you wasn't feeling that, because if you wasn't feeling that, you know, I would have put Rap New Generation under it." He was like, "Rap New Generation, dum.
That's the Riley joint. That's the Teddy Riley produced that back in the day.
So we started telling the story to show you how he had a lane to make things happen. Because I was like, I would have put that under it. He was like, "You got that record?" I was like, "Nah." Yo, you got Rap New Generation? Okay, yo, I need it right now. You know, this is like 1 a.m. I need it right now. Nigga, I sent a cab, but we need it right now. He got the record there. Okay, boom. I went back in, started sampling the record, putting the drums to it. You know what I'm saying? I come back out. You know what would be dope? Since Pete and them got Reminisce Over You out right now, CL Smooth put a verse on this. Yeah, Wes.
Wow.
Yo, get CL on the phone for me. You know what I'm saying? Boom. I went down to the Ritz to go party a little bit. Came back up 2 hours later. CL Smooth is in the studio.
Straight like that.
With a pen and pad. Right.
Straight like that.
So these are the things that he would bring to the table to just make it happen. Without that type of shit, it wouldn't happen. The same thing with the Super Cat remix.
We'll get into that whole last story. That's one of my personal favorites right there, man. The Dollar about Baby Joker there. So we're going to get into that in a second. Yo, H, what video we have queued up?
We got a little Finesse featuring
Actual facts.
There you go. If you could, introduce that for us real quick.
Lord Finesse, that's my dude. That's I think I ain't gonna, you know, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like, I met a lot of people in the industry, man. You know, what I would consider my peers.
Right.
But Lord Finesse is like just like my equal, man. Like, 'cause that's the way he always treated me, man. Like my equal, man. You know, he's done interviews and say, "Yo, Wes taught me this, Wes taught me that." You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, "Yo, you taught me just as much as I taught you." You know, because I helped him get into production by teaching him how to use the SB1200, teaching him how to use the 950. And believe it or not, after a while, I don't know how long, but after a while, he was coming to me and teaching me shit about the SB1200.
That's what
he taught me how to chop. You know what I'm saying? He taught me what chopping is about. You know, I took it and ran with it and put my own thing to it.
Right.
But he put me up on that. You know,
shout out to Lord Finesse. Shout out to DITC.
And this track right here was a track. True story. I went over my man Mike Lowe house just because I was whipping, and I looked and said, "Oh shit, I'm at my Mike Lowe house. Let me go see Mike home."
Right.
I went in there. Mike was home. You know, we was sitting there just chopping it up. I'm looking at his SP1200, and I said, "Cut it on." You know, he was like, I said, "Cut it on, man." And he cut the SP1200 on, and I started going through his records, and I said, "Yo, put the turntable on." You know, I'm just listening to the records. I said, "Let me sample this." You know, he went and took a shower, and when he came out, I said, "Yo, I left a beat in there, man. I'm out." And the next thing I know, he was like, "Yo, Finesse wants the track."
Hard.
I said, "What track?" I remember because it was like 3 days later. He said, "Yo, Finesse wants this beat." And I was like, "What beat you talking about?"
You didn't even remember.
I didn't even remember until I heard it. He said, "Remember you came, I went in the shower, and when you was going out the door, you said you left a beat?" I said, "I don't remember how it go though. Like, what did I use?" He was like, "You used the SB1200 and you sampled something in the 950." And I was like, "I don't remember."
Crazy.
I don't remember. He was like, "Yo, well, Finesse want it." And I said, "Well, he can have it." You know what I'm saying? And I did that on the arm for my nigga Finesse.
That's what it is. And shout out to the God, man. Shout out to Sadat X. Shout out to Nubians, man. This is what it is, man. Actual facts, man. Produced by Jesse West, Lord Finesse, Sadat X.
And Mike Lowe.
And Mike Lowe. Shout out to Mike Lowe.
My name is the Fat Man. We've got some dynamite ladies and fellas in here. Get your taste.